to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my 5 stages of revision and how I carry out these and why I think these go in this order. But before we get into the video, if you're new here, hi, I'm Jude Kennedy and I'm trying to be a study tuber. We'll see how that goes. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button and like the video. It helps me know that people are enjoying my videos, helps me know that this is not just me wasting time and procrastinating and I'm actually doing something beneficial to other people. So yeah, let's get straight into the video. Number 1, or the first stage of revision, I'd say is notes. Notes are kind of the foundation of any kind of revision, never mind the information that it's based upon. But notes are the first thing you kind of should be doing in order to start your revision journey, you know what I mean? So for me, what I do, which is inside my How I Make Notes video as well, is I start by kind of copying out all of my class notes, but slightly simplifying them and slightly, well, not simplifying them, but slightly like making them easier to read, you know what I mean? Bullet pointing them into lists rather than just bulk information. And then, drawing diagrams by myself, which helps me to also learn the diagrams. Writing it out helps me to learn the information better. Apparently you learn 7 times better by writing rather than reading. So yeah, there's 7 times more information going into my head than if I just left it. Or just read over it, I should say. So yeah, so notes is kind of the first thing you do. So I'll come home after doing usually 2 classes. It depends how much information we cover in a class. For example, in chemistry at the start of the year, when's this video coming out? Oh, it's still coming out in September. So in chemistry, at the start of the year, we just did calculations for a bit. There's no kind of notes to go along with calculations. You need to do those for practice. So I didn't need to make any notes on that. For biology, we started with molecules of life. And molecules of life requires a lot of notes. There's a lot of bulk information you have to learn. There's a lot of diagrams you have to learn and memorize, structures of sugars, things like that. And you just have to learn it. So I just went ahead and started my notes from day 2, I think. I think it was day 2. It could have even been day 1, I can't even remember. But it was either day 1 or day 2 when I started immediately making my biology notes for the year. That will bring me through to April, May time. May, I think the exam is. It's got to be May. Yeah. So notes. First stage, notes. Now on to stage 2, which are, well, 2 and 3 kind of go together. Well, no, they don't go together, but you can do them in any order. It doesn't really matter. But I would say step 2 is flashcards, and step 3 is revision guides. And flashcards / micro posters, whatever kind of smaller things you want. But I'm gonna go with flashcards and micro posters as 2, but they can be either way because it doesn't really matter. If you know what I mean. However, I think flashcards should be second. So flashcards and micro posters are whenever you get a lot of notes and you condense them down into very small notes, if you know what I mean. Flashcards, most people do know what flashcards are. You'll have some information on a card, which is probably about this big. I don't have any on my desk with me at the minute, but they're pretty small and they're pretty handy as well. You can flick through them pretty quickly because they're so small. You can fit in your pocket. You can walk through them. I like to make mine colourful because if you make them colourful, you're more likely to look at them, which is the whole purpose of making them. Except making them does get it into your head because you're concentrating on making them look pretty good. So if you concentrate on making them look good, but also concentrate on what you're writing down to make sure you don't make any mistakes, which is also a really good way of learning, by the way. Writing things down, but not wanting it to be perfect and not make any mistakes is a good way of learning because it means you have to focus on what you're writing and keep checking back to your textbook or whatever book you're revising from. But yeah, so I'll make small posters for biology. For example, I make micro posters because I just find that that's the easiest way for me to learn the biology in small things. It's an 1/8 of an A4 page, and it is usually a picture and then a couple of bullet points about it, or sometimes if there's a big wordy thing, it'll be bullet points or the importance of water in cells, like that. Then flashcards, usually for chemistry, definitions. There are obviously definitions in biology, they can go in flashcards too, but they can also go in micro posters. The chemistry definitions are longer, usually. Sometimes they can be long in biology, but chemistry is just like, what is the covalent bond? The force of attraction that two neighboring nuclei have for one or more shared pairs of electrons. Things like that. Or properties of ionic bonds. Things like that. I'm not going to get into the whole thing about properties of ionic bonds or properties of chemical bonds, because I could go on for about 10 minutes. So that is step 2/3. Now, the other one in step 2/3 are revision guides, which I happen to have sitting right beside me. For example, here's the biology AS1 just student guide. Yeah, that's the bit, can't see it there, but there. And then I also have that is not lots further homework, the chemistry version of it. These are pretty good for learning from. So this is step 3. What I will do is I will go through them and I will highlight things in them. I will annotate them myself. I have a code. I am planning on releasing a video about how I highlight these in October. Should be 20th of October is when this should come out. And what I do is, I'll just show you because, yeah, let's go to this page. I highlight, I annotate over them, I make sure that I know what's going on. I make sure that whenever I'm coming back to it, I still know what's going on. And it's getting darker really quickly. Wow. There's another bit where I annotated some things. It's getting dark quickly. Wow, it was like really bright whenever I started this. Well, if the camera quality goes down, you'll know why. It's because it's literally getting dark very quickly. I was not expecting that. Anyway, yeah, so I use those revision guides. For revision guide, I think it's good. Highlighting's good because you're focusing on the key information you want to remember, which means that you have to focus on the stuff in the book rather than just like I don't just highlight everything. I try not to. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. I try to only highlight the key information, which is very difficult sometimes. And then I have different colors, so I will highlight all the definitions in one color, for example. I highlight all the other things in the same color each time, which means I don't forget it. Or like, supposedly don't forget it. I can go over it and find them quickly. Then, number 4 is posters. Now, I have loads of posters from GCSE, biology and chemistry, and history actually, and RE. Those are the 4 subjects I did posters for. So physics didn't really need them because physics is physics. But chemistry, biology, RE and history, I had so many posters. History, they were probably about this. They were A3, then some of the RE ones were A4 because it's just easier to do loads of A4 ones. I did my maps for RE on A4 paper. I also did notes as well, but my maps on A4 paper were my RE posters, and then I did my big like summary sheets of every single topic in almost every single topic in biology. Harder topics in chemistry like bonding, you don't really need a summary sheet in bonding because there's too many words. Summary sheets, you want more diagrams and words. That's kind of the aim of them. History, it's a massive word. It's just like it's a book that is on a 3 page. I separated it into color. I took pictures of my history posters and would literally sit, like if I was on the bus, I would be reading my history posters. It was awful. History was a nightmare at GCSE. I'm so glad I've now finished that. And history's out of the way because there was too much information to learn. And number 5 is past papers. Past papers are not your last resort, but they are your last step. Past papers should not be a last resort. I actually really like doing past papers because I like marking myself and finding out how I do, and I also like learning from past papers. I will definitely be doing a video probably in December before January exams that most of us will have on how you use past papers to help you learn. So I will obviously be doing past papers myself for my 4 subjects. And then obviously whenever you come to the GCSE, you should be doing like all the past papers. But I find that you can learn from past papers by using mark schemes, and past papers help you not have the questions together, if you know what I mean. Usually if you do some questions like an end of topic test, they're all in the same thing. But in a past paper, they're like from all over the course jumbled up beside each other. For example, in maths, whenever you do a past paper, you don't have your topics in order. You don't have your topics all the questions on each topic together. You have all the different topics. You could have maybe two or three questions from each topic scattered throughout the entire paper, which is sometimes hard to think, like, what do I do? That's kind of difficult sometimes. As well as I can't speak. As well as past papers, you also have past paper questions, which I think can be done really at any time during the 5 stages of revision. Usually around step 2 or 3, it's probably the best time to do them because you've written notes about the topic, you've gone over the topic by making posters and gone over them in the revision guides. And before you get on to making posters is like the extra stage that you don't need to do, but I do before usually past papers, or in the middle of past papers sometimes you can do it as well. If you're struggling with the topic, make a poster about it, or an extra poster about it. But I think past paper questions are a good way to do pre-revision papers, but you don't want to do too many of them because you don't want to be doing the past papers and going, oh, I know every single question, I've already done this like 60 times in past paper question booklets, because that's a bit pointless, if you know what I mean. You don't want to be doing questions you've already done but pretending you haven't, or pretending it's like assessed, because in the exam you're not going to have done any of the questions because all the questions are slightly different in some respect to each other. But yeah, those have been my 5 and an extra stage of revision. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, if you liked it, hit that like button, and if you're new here, subscribe. And if you're old here, subscribe as well, because it helps me to see that this is not in vain. I am not procrastinating by doing this in any way. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!